Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here tonight to Virtual Racing Network. We are live here from ISM Raceway for another great race here from the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. We go right to the countdown clock. We have, of course, 5.5 minutes left on the clock before we dive into qualifying. We need to thank the sponsors for all of this. Of course, we wouldn't be here without the series themselves, Northwest Racing Series. They've been a huge partner of VRN for quite some time. We give a big shout out to them, as well as Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb playing a double duty. They are not only a sponsor here for the channel, they are also a sponsor of this series themselves. So playing double duty here, Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. Check them out at wallsbeardco.com. RaceOnTexas.com, the official dirt sponsor of VRN. They are our sister channel. All dirt races here for the channel are held over there, so make sure you check them out at RaceOnTexas.com. Also, buy your ticket. They are on sale now for the live pay-per-view this weekend for some go-kart racing action. You can see the little kids going to be stars tomorrow. They are just kids here today, going to be out there racing along with some adults as well. We'll be live at 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And of course, World of Thunder, make sure you give them a big shout out as well. Hanover Wrecker Service, On the Edge Motorsports, your official Wicked Energy Gum retailer. Huffman Designs, and of course Racecore. Well, we don't cover them, we still have a support there with them, so make sure you check them out as well. That being said, we got just under 4 minutes left on the clock. Let us know in chat who your pick for tonight's race win is. I know we got a few people out there tuning in with us. It is, of course, just 15 minutes till 11 o'clock Central Time here in Texas. We are super stoked to be covering the series as quite the crowd as well. We have what looks to be 16 drivers. While it is a low car count for, all intents and purposes, still the biggest car or truck driver, whatever you want to call it, truck driver turnout we've had here in the playoffs. Super stoked to see these guys coming out here to support the series. As again, Roy Grande here, Dan West Jr., Chris White, Corey Walters. We have a very good field here for the round of 8. Again, 8 of these drivers are going to be battling. We'll be going over those points here in just a little bit during qualifying when we have a bit of a downtime. That being said, again, we have 2 minutes on the clock before, actually a little over 2 minutes, sorry, 2.5 minutes before we get going. Gonna be some great racing. The question is, can Dan West Jr. take the pole here tonight? He's been so fast, but Mark Walls has got the fastest time here in practice with a 25.942. Mark Walls is somebody you have to look out for no matter what he is driving. In this case, of course, the trucks. Their open setup, which obviously is going to play into his favor just a little bit. And we're trying to run down those point standings if we could find them here real quick. There they are. We'll go ahead and I believe these are the correct ones, so we will pull those up. They are here for the round of 8. Jeff Stabnow, 180 points to the good, followed by Sean Brightsman with 175. Mark Walls with a 125, and James Thurston 6 points to the good. Again, this is the round of 8 here in the playoffs. This is, I believe, the next to last race. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the end. We'll pull up the schedule here real fast for the Truck Series. Again, looking at it here on the back end, we are at ISM Raceway here. This is, the first of the round of 8. I do apologize. So it is the first race of the round of 8. I'm not sure where I got the second or third, but anyway, this is the first round race of the round of 8. We also have Michigan, Dover, and Chicagoland, of course, before we end with Homestead, Miami. We do have an off week next week, so we won't be here. If you are, I apologize, but we'll send some turkey your way. But we will not be here. Thanksgiving going to be underway next week, so we will not be here. But again, on the bubble spot right now is James Thurston, 6 points to the good. Ryan Maines, 6 points out of the good, followed by Ray Fournier, Casey Tillman, Frank Harris. So any of these guys, I think, have a good shot at getting it here. So we've got about 30 seconds left. Ryan Maines, Ray Fournier, Casey Tillman, and Frank Harris trying to take that one spot away from James Thurston here tonight. If James Thurston has a good win, he's going to be locked in. Obviously, Stadnell, Brightsman, and Walls already locked in. They're moving on with wins. James Thurston needs to have a terrific run here tonight so he can lock that spot in to the Final Four. Again, he needs a good run. 6 points just isn't quite good enough. If you are wanting to secure yourself into a Final Four spot, he needs to have a terrific run. A win would be ideal. So we will definitely be looking to see if he does get that. And again, we are going to be weeding it down to the Final Four here in the round of 8 as qualifying is underway. So we'll go ahead and jump down, and at this time nobody is on the track. These guys wait to one of the last minutes. They like to wait for this track to get just perfect. It is nighttime. There's no clouds out, no sun to deal with, so there's really nothing as far as waiting for a good temperature. So we're going to jump down here to the number 13 of Ryan Maines, who is going to wield his truck, and we'll see where he goes. Dan West Jr. out on the track as well. I would not be surprised to see him at the top of the charts. Ryan Maines, I obviously expect to see him fairly close to the top of the charts as well. Again, a lot of good drivers here tonight for the race. We may have some guests who had Voltage out there tuning in. We saw you just subscribe to the channel. Going for Ryan, so out there, I'm assuming that's Ryan Mates. This is the only Ryan we got, so he's going to spin it out there. Dan West Jr. going to park it. He's not going to come back out, so we go back over to Ryan Maines and see what he can do, as he's going to go way below that cone there, and he is going to go into the dog leg, come out, as he will be on his warm-up lap here. Again, if they don't like what they're seeing on that warm-up lap, they have that option to kill it, not run the lap, and go back out and try it again, as he is going to start warm-up lap right there. Currently, his last lap was a 26.569. We'll see if he can top that. Roy Grande out on the track as well. Chris White getting ready to go out on the track, and Dan West Jr. In that 55 machine is back out on the track here. So we'll see what Ryan Maines is going to put in time-wise as he comes to the line, and it's going to be a 26.415. That will put him at the top of the charts here for the moment as we switch over to Dan West Jr. We'll see. Oh, Andy, we have not seen you in quite some time. Andy, glad to have you in chat. Yeah, haven't seen you in a long time, bro. You need to come into the TeamSpeak and hang out with us sometime. We may get you in the booth. We'll definitely get you in here and talk to you. As we have the 55 of Dan West Jr. out on track, and he is going to run a 26.115. He'll take it to the top of the charts. Roy Grande in the 51 machine is going to take it to second with a 26.217. A really good run for him as well. As Chris White going to be out on the track and running a solid black truck here tonight. I'm not sure if that is intended or if Trading Paints is not loading. We'll reload Trading Paints once qualifying has completed. Otherwise, we'll see if we can't get a word with him to see if that is the paint job he's running here tonight, or if that is indeed a Trading Paints issue. That being said, Chris White is going to be putting in a time here momentarily. And I stand corrected. He's going to smack the outside wall, and that is going to invalidate that lap. So he's going to shut it down. As we'll jump over to Mark Walls, the number 48 machine. as he may have to change a new paint job here soon, as the 48 looks to be retiring after the 2020 season. He's going to shut it down. John Ottenbacher, the next one to put a lap in, and you see the blue there on the thing. The blue spoiler and the blue above their windshield indicates that they are a chase driver. They are in the final 8. And I must say, a very nice looking blue at that. It definitely stands out from the car, and not so much the wall, though. It kind of matches here as he comes to the line, a 26.105, and that will put him at the top of the charts right now in the 89 machine of John Ottenbacher. We jump over to Dana Rogers in the 07 machine. What kind of time is he going to put in here tonight? As his first lap will be coming to the line right there. And it's going to be a 27.004. That'll put him in 5th place as of right now. Got you on the cell phone. Well, we're definitely glad you're tuning in. We haven't heard from you in quite some time. It's good to know you're still around. And obviously we welcome you to any chat we have, as we love hanging out with you. We're going to jump over to Mark Walls once again. Chris White also out on the track. And we'll see which one of them's going to put a time in first. They're both right there together. So it'll be anybody's guess as to which one of them officially puts in a time first. I think it's going to be Mark Walls. So we'll jump over to him, as it will be. He's coming to the line right there. And it's going to take him to the top, 25.997, as he will be your fastest car so far. Chris White just a little bit slower in 4th place with a 26.183. But he's got a little bit of work cut out for him here if he wants to get it faster on his 2nd lap. Meanwhile, we're going to jump down the track to James Vining in that 333 machine, as he is out on track. We'll see if he can get that TestMy.net Toyota Tundra to the top, as he is on lap number 1. And a big shout out to TestMy.net. We use them quite a bit here to test that internet. Thanks to Jeff Stabnow for sending us there. A great website to test your internet if you absolutely need to. If something's going wrong, whatever it may be. But we'll see. They're fast at doing what they do. Now we'll see if James Vining is going to be fast here as he comes to the line. 26.322. That's going to put him in 6th place, just behind Roy Grande with 26.322. Jeff Stabnow coming out onto the track now in that number 24 machine. We'll see what kind of time he can put in, as he's going to also stay below the yellow line there. Not quite as far as some of these guys. They are taking it way below that line. We'll see how that goes. And where you been, Andy? Let us know. We know you hadn't been here, but where have you been? Definitely, again, like I said, definitely glad to have you back in chat with us, cheering the guys on. As Jeff Stabnow going to be putting in lap number 1 here, as he's done with his warm-up lap. So where will he stack up? Mark Walls is fast. I don't know if he's going to top that time of 25.997. That is the only 29 or 25.9 time here. We'll see. He's going to come to the line right up against the wall. 25.876. I don't know where he got that time from, but he shot it out of a cannon and said, "Here you go, Mark Walls. Take this." And that is exactly what he did. Now the question is, can Sean Brightsman come up and say, "Well, you both did good, but you ain't as good as me. I'm going to take this 46 Walls Beard Co. Toyota Tundra to the top of the charts." Now, can Mark Walls beat his own 2 teammates here in qualifying? And time 26.027. Not quite going to be enough here. He's going to stay in 3rd place, but that means the front 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4, will be Wicked Chassis Racing Car trucks. With Stabnow, Walls, Brightsman, and Ottenbacher. We'll get over that here in just a little bit as we have Corey Walters strapped into that Hooters number 9 Toyota Tundra, getting ready to come out on to the track. Also go Walls, Beardco is sporting him on the banner. The question is, will he come out or is he going to start from the back? And you can't tell it there. I'm not sure if we can get a good angle on the truck as well. As, again, I just don't think there's a good shot here. Let's see if we can't go there. As it's supposed to be sparkle looking there with that paint job. Obviously, we don't have the sparkle here, but a very awesome looking paint job here for the number 9 of Corey Walters. But it looks like he is not going to come out, so we do have 45 seconds left to go. So it's not going to matter at this point. He will not have time to come out on to the track. It's going to be Corey Walters somewhere around 11th place for the grid. Jeff Stabnow, getting the pole here for qualifying at ISM Raceway. Obviously, he wants to get a win and lock himself in. And I don't see James Thurston here tonight. So Thurston not here. That is going to definitely hinder him in the point standings. He'll drop very far, probably all the way down to 8th position. Oh, that is going to be unfortunate for him. As there it is, that is going to do it here for qualifying. We're moving on to the grid. As Jeff Stabnow will be your pole sitter here for tonight's race. 125 laps is the distance for tonight's race. We'll go ahead and pull up your top bars. They are gridding here. Again, you're watching all of this live on Virtual Racing Network. Your Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. Again, we've mentioned 125 laps around this awesome facility. You can see right there on the right side of your screen that dog leg. That is where these drivers are going to be cutting that track just a little bit, and that is perfectly legal. They can do it. Alright, we are rolling off the grid as it's going to be Jeff Stabnow and Mark Walls on row 1. The rest of the field going to consist of, not necessarily in this order as it's all jumbled up, Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Chris White, Roy Grande, Stephen Paulson, Frank Harris, Dana Rogers, Scott Hutchinson, James Vining, John Ottenbacher, Corey Walters, Ray Fournier, Ryan Means, and Tom Green. Alright, pace car dives off, and we are racing here tonight. 125 laps is what's on the books. Jeff Stabnow going to be out front leading this race, but here comes his partner in crime, the teammate there, the 48 of Mark Walls, and looks like Mark Walls is going to get by Jeff Stabnow, but not going to hold it. As Jeff Stabnow just playing trickery with him. He goes down deep into the little bend there, the triangle, whatever you want to call it, dog leg. And he is able to hang on to the lead. As behind all these guys, here comes Dan West Jr. in 4th place. As John Ottenbacher quickly going to fall like a rock as he's going to go back to 6th position. He started 4th, but did not have a good start. He's going to fall back quite a bit, so we'll see if he can recover from that. This is not a track where we see a whole lot of passing, at least we didn't in the Xfinity cars. But once you kind of get up front, it's kind of where you stay or in that position wherever you are on the track. So we'll be looking to see how that goes. Meanwhile, it is a good little battle going on here between Ryan Maines, James Vining, Dana Rogers, and Corey Walters. You see him diving into the corners. We are keeping a close eye on the lead as well, but right now 0.333 seconds separating those top two, so not much in the way of those guys battling for the lead. This is where we want to hang for just a minute, as Ryan Maines putting on a good show here, leading this little mini pack here right in the dead center of this field. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position here at the moment. This gap is starting to shrink, so we'll pop up here for a minute, see what's going on, as it went from .333 to .233. And Mark Walls running down his teammate Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow may have some company here soon, as it may be less than a tenth as a caution is going to come out, and it's going to be for Dana Rogers in the 070 machine. We'll see what happened. Let's take a quick look. What happened to the 07 of Dana Rogers bringing out caution number 1? It just gets loose, it looks like. I don't see any contact, and spins it around. What a save for Dana Rogers in that 07 machine, as does a fantastic job of saving it, but just gets it around. Caution number 1 will be out here on lap number 6. Jeff Stab now leading as we step away for a quick break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are off on the pace car. You know what that means? It means it is time to go racing one more time, as we've got a lot of people in chat here chatting it up. We're going to check in on chat. Oh, spreadsheets, speed test is always fun. Hopefully you weren't having any internet issues having to deal with that, as we're going to go back to our main camera here as the racing is underway. And James Thurston, we got you in chat, going through, going to be a tough race to predict the winner. Yes, this one is going to be very tough indeed. Yes, that is our seeker, whatever we want to call it. We call it whatever we want around here. We got Stabnow, Walls, West, Brakesman, Ottenbacher out in your top 5 here. Let's go take a look a little further back as they're still trying to stack them up. We zoom out just a little bit. Still, we've got the refresh trading paints. I'm not sure. I don't think the 83 of Chris White's supposed to be running a black truck there. But he very well could be just running a solid paint job here tonight. But we're on lap number 10 of 125. It will be a fast race, assuming we don't see too many cautions. This race will wrap up in a hurry. I believe the Xfinity race had about 2 cautions, and we were done in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. These guys are going to be running a lot faster laps, so I expect to see that go just about an hour, maybe less than an hour of actual racing time. Back to the front we go. Stabnow still has the lead. Again, that lead shrunk. It's about at 0.5 right now, 0.516 seconds. Will that shrink? We'll see. Right now it's actually growing a little bit as he went up to nearly 0.6, so the time is shrinking. Maybe Jeff Stabnow figured something out. He didn't change anything. He's still 12 laps on those tires. That's exactly how many we've completed that time by right there. Oh, definitely going to be a interesting race. If I had to pick my top 3 that I think are going to have a good shot here, based on the front right now, I would say Stabnow or Walls or West. So the SWW is what we're going to go with. I think these 3 guys have a good shot. Stabnow and Walls, obviously, anytime they're anywhere near a racetrack, they're going to be a contender. That being said, this driver right there, the 55 of Dan West Jr., he has shown so much growth here this season. The first half of the season, a little sluggish on the get-go, and then he either, found some nitrous in the car or something, and he has become Rocket Man Dan here in the second half of the season. Good runs, good qualifying runs, just hasn't seen the finishes to go with them, as the caution is going to come out once again, and not sure where this caution is going to be, and we're not showing anyone off pace, so I'm not sure where this caution did stem from. We'll go back and take a look here at the 07 again and see if that indeed was the case, and it is. So let's go back a little bit further here to the 07. And what happened to Dana Rogers? We'll switch the camera up here just a little bit so we can get a better angle. And again, not sure. Right there just gets below the yellow line, and that is a troubled spot. If you get below that yellow line, that is a bad spot to be. You can easily get these trucks loose. Or the Xfinity cars. We saw it there too, as everybody going to be coming down a pit road this time. No surprise there. As I say that, Sean Brightsman's going to stay out. We'll see. Let's go to pit road and see how it's playing out for everybody there. As Jeff Stabnow and Mark Walls right there in front of the camera, 1 and 2. They're going to take 4 tires and fuel, I'm sure. No surprise if they don't. If they do, that will be a surprise, but they don't. 4 tires and a fuel here. And it looks like the 9 is possibly going to beat them out. Ooh, that's going to be a close one there. As it looks like Corey Walters is going to beat him out with a 9.4 second stop. He only took 2 tires in that number 9 Hooters Toyota Tundra here tonight. That could be an interesting call here, so let's see if we can't get a quick word with Corey and see what maybe prompted the 2 tire stop here tonight. Corey Walters, you got a copy.
What's up?
Well, we got you here, so we're watching you on the thing. Lights are off. We saw you took 2 tires. Is it a strategy or just a test here this early in the race?
I'm so sorry, man. I just can't hear you.
We'll get back with you here in a little bit. We know the car's going in your ear as well. So if you can hear us at all, good luck, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
I'll make sure to turn the volume up so I can hear you guys.
All right, good luck, and we'll let you go. Race is going back. All right, obviously got the car sounds going on. Obviously, it's hard to hear inside these trucks, even on a simulator. It makes it difficult to hear. Either way, we're going to racing. Green flag back in the air once again, and we are going on. Brightsman did not pit under this. And Corey Walters took 2 tires, and it's already showing that may have not been the call to make. Again, he couldn't hear us, but I think maybe that might have been a partially kind of an experiment. Trying things out here to see how 2 tires would handle. And you can already see the 48 and the 24 got by him, but he actually got back by the 48 of Mark Walls. So Mark Walls fighting back on the outside, and he's going to clear him. That is one advantage, of course, of 4 tires. You can fight on the outside as well, and you can just get a little bit more grip up there than you could with just 2 tires. Meanwhile, though, Jeff Stabnow already taking the lead back, so no tires, definitely not a call for a winning strategy, but I don't think that 46 was going for the win right there. He was going for some laps led, and he did just that as he led a couple of laps there. Dan West Jr. coming back into the picture. He's in 3rd place in the number 55 machine. Again, I told you the 3 that would, I think, are going to be contenders here tonight. Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, Dan West Jr. They didn't all start in the top 3, but they're right back there again in the order they were, as Mark Walls going to try to make a bid for the lead on the inside of Jeff Stabnow. And that may be a winning move right there as he gets by him in the dog leg. Can he completely clear him? He does. Going to be Mark Walls to the lead. I think that was probably your winning move right there for the night. And I stand corrected. He goes around. Caution is out. No damage to the back of the 48. The truck just goes around. And that will cost him the lead. But you see no damage to the back of the truck. That means there was no contact between him and the 24. Just to be safe, we will go back and take a look at it. And we'll see. But again, no contact between the 2. Mark Walls looks to just get loose here right there. He just gets it a little loose. We'll check out one more angle just to be safe. Here from the blimp cam. This is for the lead. He passes him for the lead. He already looks a little loose there as he's coming by. So we'll see. Then he dives it down into the dog leg. Comes out of the dog leg. And this is where trouble ensues here in just a minute. As again, you can't see it. Looked like there's some there. You see that. And definitely almost contact. Jeff Stabnow almost got him. So did Corey Walters in the 9. But no contact was made. Jeff Stabnow going to be your race leader. So let's see if we can't get a quick word with him as well. And see how that truck's handling is. Let's go on board with him real fast and see if we can't get a quick word in. Jeff Stabnow, you got a copy?
I got you, Charles.
Well, quickly here, we just have a couple of questions for you. One, we just obviously saw Mark go around, so we're curious. Obviously, you're running possibly a team setup, so that truck a little loose there. Is your truck handling like that, and how much are you having to baby it here at ISM tonight?
Yeah, definitely having to baby it, especially as the pressures come up. I just about lost it. I don't know if you caught me when we were talking there when you drug me in here, but I just about lost it on the lap before that. That's where I got passed, and on that next lap, they kind of all ran up to my bumper there when I was trying to recover, and then we get to that lap, and the same thing happens to Mark. So we don't have much more than 7 laps on these, so hard to say how the long run's going to be, but on the short run, we're a little loose.
Well, we'll definitely be watching for the long run if we get one. Lights are off, so we're going to let you go, and we'll get this thing going again.
All right.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, the lights are off. Why not? Let's crank these mics up here just a little bit and let these cars do the talking as we'll go off of board with Jeff Stab now. As we'll go to the static camera. We are going to crank these cams up here for the restart. Alright, and I'm not sure, we do have a caution for that. We're going to go back here to the back, and Corey Walters involved in a caution. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. Not sure what causes this. We'll see the 9, I believe, maybe just spun it out. We're about to find out as the caution comes out quickly after the last caution. And no, the 333 of James Devine gets into his back bumper, and then he gets clobbered by Dana Rogers in the 07. And that will bring out the caution as the 09 Hooters machine going to be smoking there. And unfortunately, that is not the kind of smoked cooked wings you want there. That is a smoking engine, as he will have heavy damage to the 9 machine. We got some fakers and some takers coming down pit road. No surprise there, as the caution coming out just a lap or two after the last one. We'll step away to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Are you in the market for a quality new or used car, truck, or SUV? Head on down to Sames Ford in Corpus Christi, Texas, and browse through their inventory today. You won't be disappointed. Alright, green flag back in the air, as we thought the mic was unmuted, but it wasn't. We are playing rookie mistakes here tonight. Green flag regardless is in the air, and we are racing as it's going to be the 24 Jeff Stab now still out front. He has led quite a bit of this race, 25 of the 25 of the 29 laps complete. Will be completing lap number 30. We have less than 100 to go. When we get to the line, we will officially have 90 laps to go. Right there, 90 laps to go here in the race. Still a lot of races to go But in the grand scheme of things, not that many. Take a look at our caution information here for the night. 4 cautions for 11 laps. 2 lead changes here tonight for your Hanover Record Service caution information. And just to jump right over to the other side of the screen, let's look at your track information brought to you by Bulletproof Tees. 1.01 miles, 127 miles is the distance for tonight's race. 85 degrees. And again, your air temp 83. That's not a hot night, but not a cool night either. And of course, your track temp 85 degrees, just a little bit above that. Definitely not a hot track here for tonight's race. In case we forgot to mention, in the booth here tonight, running the cameras and on the mic is myself, Charles Wooten, on the mic. We thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. It's been a fantastic night of racing so far. We thank everybody for tuning in. You know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified of all upcoming events. And speaking of upcoming, here comes Dan West Jr. as he is coming up the tailpipe of that 24 machine right now of Jeff Stabnell. So again, I told you, I think the Stabnell and West had a good shot at winning. It also said Mark Walls. Mark Walls spun out all on his own, and here he is sitting in 5th position right now. No damage was done, so obviously that is good news for him. He is working his way, trying to get by Chris White and John Ottenbacher. So he's got to get by 2 very fast drivers if he wants to get up to Dan West Jr. and Jeff Stabnell, where he had been prior to the self-spin. Again, he was leading the race when it happened. So it goes to show you, it doesn't matter where you're at on the track. If you're leading the race or dead last in the race, it doesn't matter. You can easily spin these cars around. Yeah, we would definitely like to have you out on the track as well. I'm just checking in on some chat as well. But Jeff Stabnell doing a good job of holding off Dan West Jr. here so far. Again, I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to hold him off, but he's definitely doing a good job of throwing everything he's got, trying to hold him off. I'm not going to say that Jeff is holding him up, because there's still a good 1.5 car distance there in between them. So Jeff's not holding up the 55 of Dan West Jr. yet. At least it doesn't look like it. There's too much of a gap there. If he closes that gap anymore, Dan West Jr. gonna have to try to find a way around at that point. And we'll be checking in on the rest of the field as well as the leaders. 0.316 seconds separating them here at the moment. We'll check in a little further back. Sean Breitzman sitting in 7th place. John Ottenbacher just ahead of him. Got a nice little battle going on between 4 cars. That's going to be Chris White, James Vining, John Ottenbacher, and Sean Breitzman as Mark Walls back to 3rd place. Again, I think one of them 3 have a very good shot at winning this race right now. Again, that's barring no mistakes or getting caught up in somebody else's mistake. As we saw Mark spin a second ago, mistakes can happen. Obviously, you don't want them to happen, but they can. You just have to try to rebound from them, as Mark is definitely rebounded from this one. He's back up to 3rd place. I don't want to say he's a rebound king, but he definitely has rebounded from that one here tonight. And we'll see if he can run them down. But back to this battle for 3rd or 4th position. Chris White, he's holding off James Vining here at the moment. Sean Breitzman, John Ottenbacher. But again, how much longer can he do that? The more you have to try to play defense, the more it's going to wear these tires out. Everybody currently has anywhere from 13 to 25 laps on the tires. Your front 2, 25 laps. Then you have Mark Walls and Chris White with 18. And then, of course, you have James Vining with 25 as well. But then you have Sean Breitzman, who only has 13. He came down on that last stop. But most everyone has had 1 stop. We do have some people back here. Corey Walters, Tom Green, 4 stops for them. Chris White going to have 3 stops for him. Chris White has had plenty of time to go in there and tweak on this. And that is not a fuel strategy there. That is strictly getting in there and getting some changes made to these trucks. They are open set. They can tweak on them. And that's exactly what these guys are going to be doing here tonight. They're going to be working on these trucks all night long, trying to tweak the setups as best they can to make them perform the best they can. That's the whole idea of racing, of course. As meanwhile, Jeff Stabnow has actually pulled away from Dan West Jr., but I want to see, is Mark Walls catching Dan West Jr. here for second? The gap between those two here at the moment, 0.466. It has shrunk, but how much has it shrunk, and has it shrunk enough for him to declare that he's catching him? That is the question. At the moment, I don't think I can say he is catching him. Well, I don't know. He may be here. We'll see. 0.499. It is. It's kind of iffy depending on where the corners are, and I do see some damage to the 48 as well. So I'm not sure what happened there. All right, there, having to check in on some stuff real fast as getting a little toasty here in the studio. But again, Stabnow out front, leading this race. Dan West Jr. under fire from Mark Walls for second position. I think he's going to hold him off here for a little bit. Mark Walls, again, I think if I had to pick, and I don't really want to, but we're here for stats' sake, I think it's going to be Dan West Jr. probably for a third place finish here tonight. I think he's got at least the top three. He could turn, like, as a, again, this is as they run right now, I think he's got it. He may have a top two, but I think Jeff Stabnow probably has a winning car, or winning truck here tonight. Mark Walls, I think he does too. I think it's going to be between Walls and Stabnow for the win. And it's going to be a third place finish here for Dan West Jr. That's our prediction for the top three here tonight. Again, these are barring no mistakes from Ed. Nobody gets caught up in anything like that. So that is what we're predicting it to be the top three when the dust settles a little bit later tonight. And this is all just a guess. We don't know anything prior to coming into this race as to how it's going to happen. So it's just interesting for us to figure out how it's going to go down as well. As anything can happen when you're at one of these races. You just have to hope for the best and hope that everything works out in your favor when you get behind the wheel. As right now we are still green, as it is, again, Jeff Stabnow out front leading here. You saw the 48 of Mark Walls make the pass on the 55 of Dan West Jr. He took second, but can he get to the front? Can he get to Jeff Stabnow is the question. It's going to be a tough one here. I think he's got his work cut out for him here tonight. We'll go further back in the field. As you see right there, that is Corey Walters, Tom Green, Stephen Paulson, and Frank Harris in the 11 machine. These guys all running right here together. This is, of course, the battle for 9th position. So they're battling for a top 10 position here at the moment. As you kind of broken it up into two battles here. Really, Corey Walters and Tom Green right there, bumper to bumper, as Corey Walters almost going to scrape the wall just a little bit, but he keeps it going. We're on lap 52. Again, lap 60 and a half is the halfway point, and we're going to be closing in on that very quickly tonight. So it'll be interesting to see kind of who's in the lead at the halfway point. This is probably the longest run we have seen thus far in the race. interesting to see how it turns out in the end. Who's leading at halfway? Who's made the appropriate adjustments to be leading the race at the end of the race in about 77 laps or so when we get there. Will some of these guys in the back of the field be up at the front leading this thing when it's said and done? Well, we'll find out here again in about 70 or so laps. Mark Wall still trying to run down his teammate Jeff Stabnow. Let's go ahead, let's go for a lap or two. Let's go on the board with him as we get to the line, and we'll see what his truck is handling like here for a couple of laps. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll go ahead and go off board with Mark Walls. Truck looks to be handling decent. I definitely think he's going to be running down Jeff Stabnow here. Maybe in the long run, we'll see. Again, this is the longest run that we have had so far, and it has been a very interesting one, to say the least. So, again, once they've gotten spread out, or they've gotten spread out here in this long run, so there's not a whole lot going on. We almost need the caution for some of these guys to maybe group back up and get into a contender position, as John Ottenbacher, probably one of the ones that has fallen back the most. He is in 9th place. Pull some information here. He started 4th, so he has fallen back quite a bit here tonight. Not what he was wanting by any means. So we'll be watching for that to see if he can fight and claw his way back to the front. To the front he charges, but up at the front he's got to catch his own teammate, the 24 Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow running a fantastic night here, as he has now led 56 of the 60 laps completed. He's led all but 4 laps. Mark Walls obviously led a few of those, and then Sean Brightsman led some as well. But the dominant car here tonight has been the 24 machine. The question that begs you, is this the 24's season to win the championship? He's obviously been on a dominant run here, picking up wins in the second half of the season. Just to note here, we're looking at the race winner here. Obviously, last week we missed it due to a power outage. Mark Walls won. Sean Brightsman before that, Sean Brightsman and Jeff Stabnow. Then you go before that, then you have Thurston, Brightsman, Stabnow on a roll here, as he's won multiple races this season, including Chicagoland, Michigan. He's also won Pocono, Las Vegas, New Hampshire, Indianapolis. So he has won a multitude of races here. Probably the best season that we have seen for Jeff Stabnow. I beg to cross my fingers and knock on some wood that this could be the season of the Stabnow here. To put it in victory lane. He's got a lap car coming up on him now, or he's coming up on, I should say. And I'm not sure who this is. It's going to be the 26th of Ray Fournier. Ray's going to slide up the track, let him by. No big deal there. Obviously, you don't want to stay on the bottom line too much, though. But he'll get by him and still keep on trucking by Mark Walls. He's just not quite able to get there with him. So we'll see. Somebody coming down pit road, and that is going to be Sean Breitzman here. He had the fewest laps on his tires, but he is going to go ahead and stay out. And it looks like they're going to be able to make it as we're just past the halfway point on lap 65 of 125. This should be his last stop if these guys will come down. We've already completed 50 laps on the stint for Jeff Stabnow, so right there as he goes a lap down, Stabnow has completed 50 laps on his stint. So obviously with about 60 to go, no, 60.2 or 5 or whatever it is, if he completed about 5 more laps, right about now he should be good to make it to the end of this race on fuel. 59 laps to go. They've completed 51 on this stint so far before they've come down. Jeff Stabnow has not come down in 51 laps. So there you see Chris White coming down as well. So this is going to play into a very interesting strategy here of who can make it, who can get. Can you make it more than 59 laps on fuel? Can you make it 60 laps on fuel? If you can, then it'll be a one-stop race here for these drivers, as it's going to be 2 tires and fuel here for the 83 of Chris White, assuming that the other side jacks up. It does 4 tires and fuel for the 83 of Chris White here on pit road. Jeff Stabnow still out front. 68 laps complete right there at the line. Again, we'll keep tabs on there. So we're up 69 of 125. Yes, commentator's curse coming into play. We think Jeff Stabnow is the best shot to get the win, so hopefully we don't jinx him. If we do, well, it happens. But we hope it doesn't happen here tonight. We picked him a few times and it hasn't happened. We picked him some and it has, so I think it's a 50-50 split. We throw his name out there and the curse of the hat just picks him. Crash or win out of a hat, and one of them happens. As right now we cross our fingers again. We're knocking on that wood. It doesn't come out as the first. We obviously want him to get the win, or at least finish in a top 3. But right now he's doing a bang-up job of hanging on to this lead. Mark Walls, I feel like Mark has a fast truck here, but I just don't know if he's got a fast enough truck get by Jeff Stabnow. It's going to be a very, very tough battle as James Vining in 3rd place right now. I'm not saying I'm surprised by it, but earlier on, getting entangled up there with the 9, he's going to come down pit road and he is going to take tires and fuel. As just to recap, only a handful of drivers have come down and taken fuel and tires. Tom Green going to come down, excuse me, as well as Frank Harris. So quite a few drivers going to be coming down this time here. Well, we have completed 57 laps on this run here for Jeff Stabnow. So assuming he doesn't come down pit road, it looks like we can make it 59 laps. Keep in mind, that was as of that point in the race. If we redid the math on there and cleared it out, is that Jeff Stabnow is coming down. So is the 48 of Mark Walls. They're going to have come back out on lap 74. So do the math. 125 minus 74 laps. That will give them 51 laps that they have to run on this set of tires. First off, that's a lot of laps, but not to the fuel window. They will have some laps to spare if there's a green-white checkered, but they are going to be super worn out here as Jeff Stabnow and Mark Walls both going to bring it in. That's your front two, so we're going to stay with them here as we'll come see their stops to a complete. Jeff Stabnow is going to get it up a little bit quicker than the 48 of Mark Walls. And he is something wrong with the 24, Jeff Stabnow, as he's being held extra long here, 24 seconds, 25 seconds, and it's going to be about a 30-second stop. It looks like 29.3 seconds, possibly speeding on pit road. Could have just potentially cost him the race lead. He's going to drop all the way to 8th place, 1 lap down. Meanwhile, Mark Walls, his biggest competition, stayed on the lead lap and already back up to 3rd place. A huge hit for Jeff Stabnow, as it looks like maybe getting caught speeding on pit road. Has to serve a 15-second penalty in the pits, and that could potentially hurt him. And we're not going to pretend that's the we're not even going to say that's the commentator's curse. As bad luck here for the 24 machine of Jeff Stabnow. The question is, can he recover from it? You see right there, started first and now he's in 7th. He is back on the lead lap, so that is good that he was able to get back on the lead lap, as he was able to get by the leader, which is Ryan Maines, till they catch him, as he's on pit road here at the moment. He will be scored with leading 3 laps, and Dan West Jr. going to take the lead now, as he has not come down. These guys that have come down can make it on fuel to the end of the race, so we'll be interested to see again who comes out on top. Our caution is out once again, and we'll go back here and take a look and see what happened. As looks like the 51 of Roy Grande going to be involved in this, as he looks to have a clean truck there. Question is, did Mark Walls get a piece of the action as well? And we're about to find out, and I don't believe this is what the caution was. He was slowed down on the track. But not the reasoning for the caution, so I'm not sure what brought the caution out. The 51 was slowed on the track, but it looks like we're going to check in with Ryan Maines. Let's go back and take a look. As right there, the issue as he comes out of pit road. Let's go to the blimp camera here, the aerial cam, and see what happened. He's going to be coming out on to the track here momentarily. And not sure. Looks like Hutchinson has to check up not to get into him there. And coming in to the front stretch, he gets a huge run on him, and just doesn't gets a run on him, doesn't quite check up enough, and around he goes. The 58 of Stephen Paulson are going to get into the mix as well. Everyone coming down pit road, no surprise there. Jeff Stabnow, the huge benefactor from that, as he will retake the lead, as he does not come down pit road. So he will be your race leader here, as we are going to be set to take the green here in 2 laps. All right, we are set to go racing one more time. Green flag is out, and we are underway here. And Jeff Stab now recover. He did a good job. He got the lead back due to the caution again. That caution, a huge break for the 24 machine. That team here going to have a fight on their hands. Dan West Jr. hanging on to second place. He's got James Vonnie, Mark Walls, and Sean Brightsman breathing down his neck. We'll see if he is able to hold them off, but here at the moment, doing a good job of it. Will he be able to get them? Well, it's going to be interesting here. Dan West Jr. having probably one of the best runs he's had here in this race so far, as he is running down the 24 machine. Here comes the 48 of Mark Walls. Mark Walls not going to take no for an answer here tonight, as he is going to try to get by Dan West Jr. coming to the inside of him, and Dan West Jr. gets it loose, and can't save it. Into the outside wall he goes, and that's going to cost him several spots. We talked about it over and over again. Dan West Jr., Rocket Man Dan himself, has really good runs, but just doesn't get the finishes that I think he deserves, and that right there is why something always seems to happen for this man, and that truck's still not handling the way it should, as he's going to be quite a bit loose. Meanwhile, Mark Wall's going back round again at the front of the field, and caution will come out for that one, as caution will come out for Mark Walls once again for a self-spin for the second time here tonight. And take a look, and I believe this is just another self-spin. Nobody's around him. He's trying to run down his teammate Stabnell. Just Stabnell having a fantastic run here tonight. And right in here, gets it just a little below the yellow line and loops it around. Good news, once again, he does not get into any walls, anything like that. Nobody gets into him, as he will keep it going forward, but he's going to be back in a 10th position. Jeff Stabnell, your race leader, as we step away for a quick commercial break.
Green rises to the top.
All right, they are taking the green flag here one more time You see all the lights flashing in the stands. They are happy to see this race. Hopefully you are too, as we are going to get this thing going. We're going to switch back to our main race cam. And what a race. And it's been a fantastic night of racing so far. And Jeff Sabnow, probably the poster child for recovery here tonight, as leading, he's led 79 laps, and then gets what looks to be a speeding penalty going in to pit road. He recovers from that. The caution comes out. He gets he got his lap back, then the caution comes out. He stays out because he just came down pit road. He gets the lead back. Now he's got company from Mark Walls. Once again, Mark Walls hanging in second place. Can he get up there? It seems like Mark Walls has been up there in second place. He's actually had the lead for a couple of laps. I believe 2 or 3 is what it was. And as soon as he gets up there, this truck is spun out twice. So, can Mark Walls get up to the race lead here after some recoveries himself, spins, and getting back to front? Could he have the spin and win story here tonight at ISM Raceway? We go a little further back here, as you have James Vining, Sean Brightsman, Chris White, Dan West Jr., Ryan Maines, all these guys bunched up here together. First and second have started to check out a little bit, but the rest of the field not so much, as they are stacked up right here together. It's going to be Sean Brightsman moving into third place, James Vining to fourth, Dan West Jr. fifth, and Chris White in sixth. On the outside looking in right now for the top 5. Can he get by? Is the $1 million question. Again, they're all running for one thing, and that is the win and the championship. If you are in there, and we got a truck going around, and once again, I believe it is going to be Mark Walls, and this time Lady Luck not saving him from the outside wall. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened, as this truck is just not handling the way he wants it to tonight. Something going wrong here for the 48 machine. It's right there. You see him diving into the corner, and it just breaks loose and hammers the inside, the outside wall hard. And that truck is going to be dead on arrival. It's going to get to the pits, but it's going to take it a while, as it's going to have to be towed, as his night is done. So unfortunately for Mark Walls, his night going to end a little bit earlier than he wanted to here on lap 95 of 125. As we're under caution, we'll step away for a quick break. flag set to come out, and there it is. We are racing here at ISM again. Cautions starting to come into play here. That is our 7th caution now for 20 laps out of the 97 completed, so still a fairly low caution count. Again, 7 cautions, you would think that's a lot, but only for 20 laps out of 97 completed. That's not a lot of laps. Means the majority of this race has been under green. As the caution going to come out this time, and it's going to be a parking lot in the corners. There's going to be several cars involved in this one. Let's take a look. What happened here on the restart? We're going to need to go take a different camera angle here to the aerial cam and see what happened. And again, we know there's several trucks involved. Did it have an issue with the dog leg? And no, it involves Dan West Jr. and the 51 to begin with. Let's go back and let's take another quick look at this. As we'll go back to the aerial cam again to watch the 51 of Roy Grande, who's in front of the 55, that blue and white and the orange and white 51 and the blue and white 55. Those two are going to be taking it 3 wide here, but something getting those two tangled up. Oh, there it is right there. The 9 of Corey Walters slides up into the 55, collects the 51 with him. The 58 involved. Looks like the 26 going to be involved. Multiple drivers involved in that one as we are under caution for the 8th time. Sean Brightsman, as we were just about to mention, is out front leading this race. I think it's a strategy move. He did a good job there to get out and get this. He only took 2 tires though. I think Jeff Stabnow is probably going to get back by him here shortly on the long run. If we get one, we're going to have 25 to go here. It looks like maybe 24 when we take the green. Alright, who's going to get the win here tonight? We have less than 25 laps to go, about 23 to go is what it is. The green flag back underway here tonight. Sean Brightsman out front. Here comes Ryan Maines to the inside of Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow going to battle on the outside. That inside just hasn't really been too productive for anybody here tonight. as that seems to be a lot of the issues where the cautions come out, but looks like he's going to do it. He is going to slide up just a little bit, but not enough, as he'll stay off the 24, but it is going to be a close battle to the line. Jeff Stabnow going to hang on to second place at the line over Ryan Maines here on lap 104 of 125. So can he hang on to it is the question. Again, the 24 Jeff Stabnow in second place. He has led about 70 laps or so, a little over 70 laps, I do believe. He looks to be the truck to be the driver to be here tonight. The question is, can he get back by his own teammate who took 2 tires and is right there? You see the product taking those 2 tires. He gets a real squirmy coming out of the corner. Jeff Stabnow going to capitalize big time off of that mistake. All right, they're checking in on some stuff real fast. There you see Jeff Stabnow right on the back bumper. We're going to probably remain at front of this field here for the rest of this race, as he is doing a fantastic job of catching in. I think he's probably going to get by him here shortly, but he's got to make his moves methodically if he wants to get by the 24. Jeff Stabnow up on the high side. He scrapes the wall just a little bit. Honestly, I'd rather get by on the high side. The bottom side just does not seem safe. However, top side may not be the place to be if the car, the truck behind you, below you, it gets loose as well. So, again, you want to get by them, but you can't pinch them down like you would want to at some of these tracks. Pinch them down to the bottom of the track. You cannot do that here. If you do that here and they get below that line, then they can very easily spin it out. And that's what's the hard part here. Not being able to kind of pinch them down into the corner and make them lift. If they get too low, they're just going to spin it out and get you both involved in a wreck. He does it perfectly there as he goes ahead and it takes the lead. He's led 86 laps. I knew it was over 70, but I wasn't sure just how many, as we're on lap 109 of 125. Let's see who comes out on top. Again, my prediction was Jeff Stabnow. I think he had the best shot. I did think that Dan West Jr. Had a shot at it, as well as Mark Walls. Of course, both of them now out of the race, unfortunately. So, we'll see if that is the case. Can Jeff Stabnow get the win here, as we have 15 laps to go? We'll see 1012 of 125 here tonight. We don't have much more. So we see we got, keep digging. Ryan is true. He is digging as hard as he can there, sitting in currently third position. Checking in with chat, see who all is in there with us. We got quite a few people in there for as late as it is. It is 12:10 a.m. Central Time. Again, for these guys that are racing, though, it's only about 10 o'clock, so it is not near as late for them as it is for us. But that doesn't bother us one bit. We love hanging out. We love covering this series. And obviously, Jeff Stabnow is loving life right now. He may not have been earlier in the night. Well, about halfway through the race, he might not have been, as he definitely was early in the race. But then again, a little bit later in the race, about mid-race, having some issues there. Again, what looks to be a speeding on pit road penalty. He gets his lap back on his own. The caution comes out. He goes in, gets 4 tires of fuel, comes back out. What a save for him here tonight. as he was able to keep going, and he is now back out front. And really, like we said, I think his two biggest competitions here in this race were Dan West Jr. and Mark Walls. Both of them have since retired. Dan West 17 laps ago, Mark Walls 21 laps ago. So again, I think those were his biggest threats here tonight. Not saying that Sean Brightsman, Ryan Maines, Chris White, or some of these guys couldn't get by him, but I really think that those were his biggest threats on the racetrack, and that's with any race. You have anybody that can win, but you have those people that you think and physically are on the track based on their setup and how they're driving that particular race are probably your biggest threats to get by you at any given time and win the race. It's 10 laps to go here for Jeff Stabnow, though, as he is on the move. He's got the 11 in front of him. That is Frank Harris. He has multiple laps down, and Frank going to let him by there. He's not going to hold up. 9 laps to go for Jeff Stabnow to put this in victory lane here tonight. This, of course, would lock him into the final 4 if he can get the win here tonight. This is the first round of 8. Can he lock himself into the final 4? I think he can, and he is done. Again, I think this is the season of the Stabnow. We're going to call this Stabnow season here. As I really do think this is his season. He'll shrug it off. He won't think so. He's going to say he's going to take it one race at a time. Well, he took it one race here tonight, and so far, if he hangs on to where he's at, he will be moving on, and well, he'll really just look for Homestead. I guarantee you'll see him practicing quite a bit for it and getting everything in order for that race. Well, let's see here, checking in on some stuff there. 6 laps to go for Jeff Stabnow. Why not here? Let's go on board with him for a lap or two and just see how the truck really is handling. As we'll do 2 laps on board with him here in these final laps. Not much going on in the way of race. They're kind of spread out on the track. So we'll go 2 laps here with Jeff Stabnow as he starts lap number 1 right here. Alright, 3 laps to go for Jeff Stabnow, as he is going to be celebrating in victory lane if he can just hold this truck together for just 3 more laps. Meanwhile, behind him, Sean Brightsman, Ryan Maines are going to be your top 3 we'll be talking to if they run as they are. Chris White, James Vining. We got a little bit of a battle going on here back there. That is for 4th position. As we are going to be coming up on 2 laps to go. Just 2 laps remain in this race, as it has gone by super quick here tonight. About an hour and 24 minutes is all we've been live. So actually a little bit longer than we were with the Xfinity car, but we did have more caution, so that stands to reason. As there goes James Viney. He's going to take 4th place from Chris White. If we can get it out. We'll see how it goes. Jeff Stabnow taking the white flag. 1 lap to go here for the race at ISM Raceway. Jeff Stabnow going to be the first one to lock himself into the final four. And I'm sure he'll be celebrating quite a bit. Your race winner here tonight is going to be Jeff Stabnow in the 24 machine. Alright, that is going to do it for tonight's race, of course, but we still have more to come as the post-race show going to be coming up here in just a few moments. And Jeff Stabnow still trying to tear the truck up after the victory lanes there. We're going to go up above him, see, and I guess maybe because nobody's here to hit him. I don't know what he's doing out there, as by far the best performance here. He led 103 laps, best performance, best race, best everything. Where's donuts? So, Jeff, we got to work on those. We'll let him do his, we'll just call it wall bangs. I'm not sure that was a donut, but there he's going to do some donuts. As we'll let him do those, and we'll get the top three in the booth, and we'll talk to him here in just a few moments. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight as we have our third place driver here, who I believe had the biggest fan support tonight in chat, and that is going to be the 13 of Ryan Maines. Ryan, you come home third place here tonight, a solid finish, of course. So first and foremost, congrats on the third place finish. What was this track out there? It seemed like a trend with the Xfinity and the trucks. If you got too low on the track below that yellow line, these trucks got extremely loose. So give us your thoughts on this truck and how it was handling out here tonight.
Well, it was my truck was a little bit of a wrestle today. I kind of had it set up for a long run, and we just didn't get a whole lot of that. So I was tuning it back until I could actually keep up with the front pack. If you touch that yellow line, you were definitely going to go around, or at least close to it if you caught it. I actually had a little bit better when I was cruising up a little bit higher, but it was definitely a challenging track and a challenging truck tonight.
It definitely looked challenging out there, so we'll let y'all do the driving. We'll continue to cover the action. But speaking of action, you come into this race currently in fifth position in the points based on the chart we have. Obviously, James Thurston not here, so this definitely will move you into the top four. So obviously, you still got a lot of racing to go, but does it kind of unofficially anyway feel nice to get in that top four going into the holiday break there, so you can worry about stuffing your face with some turkey instead?
Oh, podiuming right before a long break, it definitely keeps the confidence up, so I can come into next race hoping to win that one too.
Well, definitely we'll be looking for you. We know you're always a threat out on the track. You get third here tonight. You got any sponsors on the car? Anyone you just want to give a shout out to for the third place finish here tonight?
Always thanks to Walt's Beer Company. Their products make my beer all fluffy and nice, and VRN for covering us. It's always nice to watch it, and obviously I got some people watching it for me, so it makes me happy.
Well, definitely do. Congrats on third place, and of course that brings us to our second place driver here tonight. That is going to be another Walls Beard Co. truck out there. That is going to be Sean Breitzman in that 46 machine. A very bright truck out there on the track as well. You bring it home for second. We got to ask those tough questions here tonight. Do you think you had anything for Jeff here tonight? We know you took 2 tires on that last stop. Was that in an effort to try to get in front and stay in front of him?
Oh, absolutely. I really had nothing for Jeff, Mark, Dan West, really. I was just off pace all night long, so I was just happy to get up front, lead some laps, and try my best to hold off Jeff there at the end. So,
well, again, it was a great run for you here. Again, just a little bit short, obviously, but still going to be in the top 4 in the points. So same kind of question there. You're in the top 4. You try to separate this from real life. It is a sim, but at the same time, you spend a lot of time here repairing these trucks, getting them ready. So does it give you that kind of, just push this off to the side? Don't even worry about it. Let's go do some Thanksgiving, eating some food.
Getting second here it definitely helps for sure, but I look forward to racing here every Thursday night. I love racing with these guys. I love battling out. I love the after race burnout victory special demo derby. It's just fun to come in here. This is kind of a family as well, so it's just a lot of fun to be here and racing with these guys. So I look forward to the break, but also look forward to getting back in the truck next in a couple weeks here.
Well, looks like, speaking of broke anyway, it looks like Jeff is back, so we know he got some sponsors and shout outs, so who those be for that second place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I just got to give it up to Walls Beard Co., Wicked Chassis Racing, Central Welding Supply, and Virtual Racing Network for your guys' broadcast.
Definitely, we'll be looking forward to many more seasons. And of course, that brings us to our race winner here tonight. As we already said in the broadcast, and we're going to say it again to Jeff because he knows we like to poke fun at him. A dominating performance, led 103 laps, an outstanding race, outstanding everything here tonight. Except for, I don't know what that was a burnout. We're calling it the wall smack victory bang or something like that. As he hit the wall a couple of times. Then he did his donut and got pretty much demolished by his teammate there at the end to celebrate the win. But all that aside, doesn't matter how you celebrate. Jeff, you're moving on to the Final Four. We've kind of deemed this season here with all the wins you've had, the Stabnell season. So you're looking forward to getting into that Final Four and battling for the championship this year.
Well, there's kind of a lot to unwrap there in that statement. First of all, I told these guys I was going to smack my tail on against the wall because it drives you nuts when I do that on my burnout. So, glad to know I got to you on that one again. As far as the Stab Now season, I do believe I have the second most wins in the series this year, not the first. That'd be the guy behind me, who dang near pulled off another one tonight. And he's the guy I've been chasing all year. And finally, nice to get one ahead of him and or to actually just get the first one on one of these rounds and relax a little bit. Maybe we can focus on the Xfinity after the train wreck that was the other night.
Well, definitely. Obviously, we're just glad to be back as well. Obviously, for the ones that follow us know we had a power outage last Thursday. We weren't able to be here. But we come back, and for the record, I did pick you for the win here tonight. But that was after you had led like 80 laps. But early on in this race, we said that I'd say early, about 40 laps into the race, 50, it really seemed to be a race between you, Mark, and Dan. All three of you were up front, right there together. Obviously, you seemed to pull a little bit out. You never want to see your competition out of the race, but do you feel that in this particular race, those two were probably the closest competition you had?
Well, let's back up here a little bit. I don't even think it was talking about close competition. So Mark, who had to step away for a few races, actually had to win last week to even get in the playoff round. So he was winner go home last week. He won the race. He came in tonight. He's got a teething daughter who at some point or another had to he had her on his lap while he was racing and running me down. I know that, and so he had a teething daughter on his lap while he was trying to race, and probably would have just smoked me if he wouldn't have. So Dan West, he was pretty fast again coming off that Xfinity run. He's just got the line down here, and I don't know if he took it easy on us because we were in a chase or if that's what he had. I know that the truck he was driving looked like it was obviously getting loose a little bit into the run, but these short runs we kind of had here towards the end had me worried because he was pretty fast for about 30 to 40 laps. So I never felt like I had this race under control, and I've said it 1,000 times, in team speak here. Nobody adjusts better to a track than Sean in a race. Nobody makes better in-race adjustments as far as their driving style. And so, knowing that we're running the same sets, as a team here, and knowing that Sean's had 100 laps on it, he gets out in front of me. I honestly didn't know if I was going to be able to get by him, so I was sweating bullets there. And, it was fun. Sean always races clean and tight. So, I'm real excited, real happy to get one, by these guys. But by no means did I ever think I had, who was the closest competition. I was just hoping I had enough to be in it at the end.
Well, definitely, we feel you had a good shot here. We picked you anyway, and you didn't get the curse. But one last question, and it kind of relates to the course before we get to your sponsors and shout-outs, is it was shortly before we picked you for tonight's race win, or shortly after we picked you, I should say. You had an extended time on a pit road. What we can only think was maybe a speeding on pit road. Was that the culprit there?
Yeah, I knew that I'd been short pit by some of these guys, and I was I was trying to figure out. The truck felt pretty good, 50 laps, 60 laps into that, and so I wasn't too worried. I didn't feel like I was falling off, and but I didn't want to lose a whole bunch of time, and so I kind of came in the pits there. A little bit hot, I think. Then I was running and trying to get my settings in and all that, and got popped for speeding there at 46 and the 45. So I got a 15-second hold, and quite frankly, I got lucky with the cautions to get that back. I think I had to stay out there in some old tires for a little while to kind of cycle back on the same rotation with the rest of these guys and get the track position back. But that caution that put me up there, and then those couple of quick cautions that kind of let me put enough laps on their tires without losing a bunch of spots, I think is what saved me tonight.
I'll definitely say I believe you were too saved by the cautions, but you also had a fast truck. You put it in Victor Lane here tonight. You got the chicken dinner. Obviously, have to grab it in the morning, as I believe most restaurants are probably closed at this point. But we know you got some sponsors on the car and some shout outs to who those would be for the win here tonight.
Absolutely. I think tonight it starts with the teammates. You know, wouldn't be doing this, wouldn't be having the fun that we have doing this. Like Sean said, Thanksgiving coming up, and the teammates are like family, and they're what makes all this worth it, and we have fun doing that. And then by extension, there's guys in the rest of the league that we're real close with. Just great guys all around, and that's what just makes this league so unique, so special. And just a great camaraderie in this league. So I think things that it's Thanksgiving, I'll start with what I'm thankful for, and that's it. Sponsors and shout outs, the admins for making this happen, all the work they put in. Chris and Sean put in quite a bit of work on this too. I know everybody gives me credit, but I think they may put in as much or more as I do. And then Walls Beard Co., of course, for just making all this happen, sponsored everybody, and then yourself, Charles, with VRN. We sure did miss you last week, buddy. So glad to have you back, and we're thinking you need to buy a generator.
I'm beginning to think so too. I did see a commercial shortly after the power went out for a Generac. I believe that was probably a sign of something, so maybe I should invest in one. That being said, that is basically going to wrap it up here for tonight. I'm sure we're going to be hanging around for the after party here in just a minute. But, of course, that does it till Sunday. Of course, make sure we have to give out for the one of our sponsors out there. Make sure you head on over to raceontexas.com. Sign up for the live pay-per-view this Friday and Saturday. Again, you support this stream with the adults. Go support the kids out there. This is a bunch of kids racing go-karts. Again, they will be on here or in real life racing the stars of tomorrow. So make sure you support them. And we'll see you Sunday night with the Adrenaline iRacing League once again on Sunday night.